Natural Habitat Podcast. The Natural Habitat Podcast. The Natural Habitat Podcast.
Engage. Yo, welcome to the show, everybody. My name's Mikey Booyah.
And I'm unknown.
And we are here on another Tuesday with you. We're enjoying your company. You look very nice today. I'm glad that you styled your hair like that. And you're also wearing your good belt. So props to you. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
You smell good?
I'm just giving props to our listeners. You smell good. And also, you recently got those new contacts, so you feel better about yourself. You know, even though the glasses look good on you, you still feel better about yourself now. And hopefully, you're on your way to an attractive girl or boy's house to get your penis or vagina touched. And hopefully, it takes about an hour to get there, and we can entertain you until then. Joey's over there getting his penis touched. You gotta keep it down, man.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry.
All right. Well, it's another day, and a lot of shit has been going on in the past week since we came and hit you with this current events episode of the podcast. Mainly the giant fireball in China that you could see from space. That happened, and the death toll is currently rising.
Last time we checked, it was at 50.
Yep,
and 700 injured or something like that.
Yeah, and I saw the images from a satellite where you could just see this giant explosion growing. I saw a lot of cell phone videos. The videos went viral before it was announced on the news, before any sort of government officials said anything about what happened. The videos were already everywhere in the Natural Habitat Podcast community on Facebook.
Yeah. That shit looked like a fucking atom bomb or like some type of nuclear blast. Like that shit was huge as fuck, and then it wasn't. Like all of a sudden it was gone. It was just over and done with it in like an instant.
Yeah, and they said that the initial explosion had the force of 1 ton of dynamite, and then 30 seconds later, it was like a shipping container that blew up that was full of explosives, and then that set fire to a warehouse that was holding hazardous material. Who knows what the fuck that is? That's a very vague category. And then that created an explosion 30 seconds later that was 30 tons of dynamite. And, you know, a lot of people were fucked up. A lot of people were killed. It was some really brutal shit, you know. Our hearts and farts go out to people in that area and their families. We really hope that you know, you find peace in this time of need and this crazy shit. That'd be fucked up if I was looking outside and I just saw a giant explosion. And we live real close to a power plant, you know. Diablo Canyon's right around the way.
I actually have a clip of some stuff because they could probably tell it better than we can.
Yeah, because I was not there, nor am I. And, well, I guess we're news people.
Yeah, sort of, but
I'm not attractive. Have an attractive lady say
it. Well, I don't think it's a... I don't remember who it was, but here it is.
All right.
The first thing they saw, the orange ball of flames, followed by the blast. When I heard the first explosion, I thought we were finished, says Qian Jiping. He and his wife, Gao Jing, are migrant construction workers, two of Tianjin's 15 million citizens, a city jolted awake by powerful explosions, heard and felt for miles. The house collapsed. We didn't know what happened, she says, so we just held each other. Strangers pulled them from the rubble, barefoot, barely clothed, barely feeling the jagged shards of broken glass in the streets. They managed to carry some clothing and belongings, leaving all their money behind. A choking chemical smell fills the air. They have no choice but to breathe it in as they run to this convention center parking lot. When you look around at all the devastation here, it's really remarkable. One, just all of the damage that was done to this convention center building, the windows smashed in, the doors smashed in as well. Take a look at this car. It clearly caught fire, the windows smashed, it's crumpled, and we are standing 2 kilometers from the blast site. At the nearest hospital, a severely burned man is wheeled past waiting crowds. Others collapse from the pain or the anguish of losing someone they loved. During my live report from outside the hospital, tempers flare. An angry mob demanding to see the pictures in my phone forces me off the air. Police don't stop them. Emotions are high. One moment we were asleep, the next we were here on the streets, she says. We don't know what to do, where to go. A sleepless, terrifying night, an exhausting, confusing day.
So,
damn.
I'm looking at pictures right now, and this shit was pretty intense, dude. It's like everything for miles. It really resembles like a nuclear blast or something. It's like everything for miles is torn apart. Like whole lots of new cars parked in lots just destroyed, empty, burned down to the frames. You know what I mean?
There's this pile of shipping containers that's just all fucking destroyed.
Yeah.
I'm watching drone footage right now of it.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, dude, it's like that's some crazy shit. It's like it sounds like a fucking nuclear bomb to me. Like, it sounds like a giant bomb was blown up intentionally, but we won't know, we'll probably never know what really happened because everything was blown up and destroyed, and I'm not there. I don't have anyone I trust. Joe Rogan's not down there checking out the blast site, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to know. I'm going to get some obscured version from that guy who painted a very good picture. And that shit was like, for one, that guy is very good at his job, all right? Because he scared me. Like, it was scary. And it sounded like that sounded like some shit out of like a movie or like an intro to an album that's like all hella creepy, you know what I mean? I might steal that news report. And
it definitely doesn't seem like they're trying to make it sound like it doesn't seem so accidental for something like we had something similar to that a couple years ago, and this fertilizer plant exploded and it blew up like a whole city here, and the explosion to me on video looked very similar to that. It looked like something ginormous like that, just the scale of it alone was very similar. So I'm like, in my mind, I'm looking at these and I'm wondering, what are the similarities? Why do the explosions look similar? Like, here I go letting the conspiracy theories roll.
Yeah, well, you're right. Yeah. I'm looking at it right now. If anybody wants to check it out, this video is everywhere of the explosion that happened in China. And now I'm looking at this video. It's called Fertilizer Plant Explosion, all 3 angles. And it happened in West Texas. You can look this up on YouTube. And the explosion is very similar. It kind of looks the same. But,
yeah, so it doesn't feel like accidental to me. It feels like, it's funny that it started as a 1-ton explosion, and then 30 seconds later it blows up the whole city. It's like, I feel like things were strategically placed there for nothing would just happen by accident. Like all these things had to happen for it to have happened the way it did. You know what I mean? It's like dominoes or something, It's like, it's like there's a bunch of pieces to the puzzle that we're missing out on. How else could there have been such a fucking gnarly explosion? You know what I mean? Like, shipping containers with explosions and all these other things, or with explosives. Sorry. You know what I mean? Like all these other things fall into place that are just like, wow, just dumb luck, or like people just not putting shit or not taking care of shit the way they should, or like I don't know what it is, but it's pretty intense.
It is very strange, and I mean a lot of different theories can be pulled out of that. You know, there's a lot of ways you could take it. I am also a conspiracy theorist, so my mind like automatically goes to it was a controlled explosion that was done on purpose for, you know, whatever reason, and
insurance.
They knew that boat exploding close enough to that factory would, you know, make a big enough explosion to fuck shit up. Like it also it's like, why would they have this factory full of hazardous materials right there where they're bringing in boatloads full of explosives? Like, also, this place was closed down, this factory that blew up. It's not like an active thing that people work at. You know what I mean? This is an abandoned factory that had hazardous shit in it. So, and it's like
they took a page out of the 9/11 shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's like an insurance fraud or some shit.
How much hazardous shit could really be in an abandoned warehouse? You know what I mean? I wouldn't imagine that much. Abandoned means pretty much empty, not shelves stocked full of fucking nuclear waste and shit, you know? But like I said, we'll never know because we have that fucking Anderson Cooper sounding motherfucker over there fucking telling us all these stories and scaring the shit out of everybody. It's like if he creeped me out a little bit, then everybody that is watching him on their TVs at home are scared shitless. And you know, it's a touchy thing because bottom line, what happened was there was an explosion and a lot of fucking people died and got hurt and lost their homes. And it's sad, you know what I mean? It's unfortunate, and I don't want to just only take the conspiracy theory angle and be like, oh yeah, well this is all planned and shit. Because it's like, that doesn't really help these people that are fucked, you know? Like, if my house blew up, I wouldn't want someone to come and be like, oh, yeah, man, it's all a conspiracy. The government did it. I would be like, well, like, you know, I need, are you going to give me money or not? Otherwise, get out of my business. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you know, as far as that goes, if anybody wants to come over here from China, I will take 2 people and let you stay in my house.
Yeah, I definitely feel bad for the people that are that lost their homes and everything else. Like, hopefully they got family or somebody that could help them out while they figure out what they're gonna do, or like how they're gonna be compensated by whoever's responsible for whatever, you know. But at the same time, if you guys got any conspiracy theories, let us know. Hit us up on the podcast group. Or on the Facebook or any of the other 7 sites we're on.
Yep, hit us up and let us know what your favorite conspiracy theory is. And I think that our next themed episode will be an episode on conspiracy theories. That sounds great. Because I'll go deep into fluoride, man. Like,
yeah, I'm with it for sure. I love that shit too. We'll get Jesse Ventura on the show or something. We'll take a look back at some Alex Jones, or like, you know, we'll get some Joe Rogan going too. Some of the Joe Rogan questions everything era.
Yep, all kinds of shit. That'll be a fun one. But
yeah,
you know, like I said, I'll take 2 people from China if you want to come. But that's all I could take because we got our own problems here. Like this polluted river that is just slowly leaking all throughout the United States, filling up the Colorado River, and it's about to fill up the largest natural drinking reservoir in the country.
Yeah.
Almost.
Tell me about how we could let the Environmental Protection Agency cause one of the biggest spills ever.
Right?
That is dumb luck. And it's not dumb luck, it's on purpose.
Yeah.
It's like these fucking idiots think we're stupid.
Yeah, did Alanis Morissette have something to do with this? Because it's a little ironic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, don't you think?
All right, well,
yeah.
I mean, like, for anyone that doesn't know, for anyone that has just been scrolling past these you know, posts of yellow rivers all over your Facebook page and think that it's, you know, a video in China, it's not. This is in America. And what happened is the Environmental Protection Agency was cleaning up a mine that had been closed for some 80 years or some shit. And it had a bunch of waste and hard heavy metals and mercury and all kinds of bullshit in it. So they were doing this thing to clean it out. They wanted to build they wanted a super fund to get a giant water treatment plant like a little bit downstream. And they got denied for it, and they wanted it to help them clean out the mine, you know what I mean, or do whatever. And so what they did is they went in, manually started cleaning the mine, and in the process, they broke out a plug that was holding in a bunch of water from the rain, because every time it would rain, it would run through the mine and then pollute the river. So all this water was held up in there. They unintentionally and accidentally released this plug, and it pumped 3 million gallons of toxic water into the local rivers and streams. And initially they said it was 1 million gallons, and then after further, I want to say that they confiscated like a bunch of files and emails and shit from them and found out that it was actually 3 million. And now they're getting their money from taxpayers to build this giant water treatment plant that they wanted to build. So it all worked out for them. And in the process, they're killing animals. They're killing all the wildlife and birds and fish. It's like all the people that live along the river are going to get cancer. All the people that have wells are fucked.
Yeah, they're poisoning their groundwater supply.
Yeah.
It's all that shit was full of lead and all these other things to clean the gold mine, you know?
Yeah.
Every single thing they used is hazardous and dangerous to everything around it. Those waterways probably aren't going to be good for 100 years. You know what I mean? Like, they just fucked that place for sure. They have two different things that they're saying. Like, some scientists are saying that they don't know how long it's going to be fucked up. And then there's some that'll say that are obviously paid by them that are trying to say, oh, they'll recover in this little short amount of time, a couple years or whatever. But that's never the case. You know, all those things are cancer causing things. You know, like lead is one of the most known cancer causing things, you know, and the fact that all that shit was lead laced. Look at just the color of the water. All that shit is fucked. You know what I mean? Like all that is gonna settle down to the bottom. It's gonna mix and stay with the sediments, and everything is poisoned. All the fish, everything that runs through there. You know what I mean? They're gonna have to reroute other things that pour new fresh water into it to go around it somehow, because letting it run in and mix with the other shit is just going to contaminate more. You know what I mean? It makes no sense. Here's what they're trying to say. They're trying to claim somewhat of responsibility at least, but this is the type of thing. This is like where they pull the cover over your eyes and they say one thing to appease a general public view while they're doing like we said, and they're just trying to get their money now. You know what I mean? Yeah. This was all a money-motivated thing in the first place. This was all, we need this, and we can't have it, so now we're going to have it because we just created a mess, you know? I feel like who watches over them, you know? They're supposed to be the Environmental Protection Agency, but who watches over them? Who makes sure that they're doing what they're really supposed to be doing? You know, we give a lot of money to all these places, and we don't even really know what's going on, you know? Yep. Like FEMA's and like other places, you know, like where's the oversight? You know, we need the money publicly tracked. We need to find out what money goes to what programs and where, and we need to find out, you know, what the fuck is really going on, or shit like this is going to continue to happen. But here's something.
It is really a tragic and very unfortunate incident, and EPA is taking responsibility to ensure that that spill is cleaned up. And the most important effort that we are ensuring right away is the health and safety of the residents and the visitors near that river. But we have our researchers and our scientists working around the clock. Our commitment is to get this right and to make sure that we're protecting public health. You know, EPA is an agency whose core mission is to ensure a clean environment and to protect public health. So it pains me to no end to see this is happening. But we're working tirelessly to respond, and we've committed to full review of exactly what happened to ensure that it can never happen again.
Okay, so the whole time she's reading that, I'm not buying it. She's not even looking at the camera. She's just looking down, reading this thing. You know, oh, it bothers me deeply. We're supposed to keep shit clean, and we fucked this up. You know, like, come on, man.
Being the
you're just reading. You're reading
agency.
whatever whoever wrote the paycheck wrote. That's it. That's all you're doing. You're not really. You don't really care about what happened, or you be out there fucking doing something instead of telling us, "Don't worry, this is gonna happen." You know what I mean? It's like, okay, well, where are those people supposed to move? You know what I mean? The people that live there and the wildlife that lives there, and you know what I mean? Where's everybody supposed to go?
Right. She had no answers for that. All she had was some written out thing that was made by a team of writers. Somebody just like a TV show. They all sat down and they were like, "What should we say that'll make us sound like we didn't do this shit on purpose?"
Yeah. And
it's fucked up. Here, I'm gonna mess with this real fast because you're getting like a little hum going on. All right, I fixed it. It sounded like a helicopter. It was like. Unless you got like a visitor, like the president is coming over, or something.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. Yeah. You didn't even try to explain it. You're just like, absolutely. He comes over all the time.
It's the Rock in San Andreas.
Is it the Rock or is it Barack?
Oh yeah, it's Burr Rock.
Burr
It's cold outside.
I wonder. Man, I wonder if the Rock and Barack are related. They kind of look like that. So. They kind of look like that. That ethnic mix.
Yeah. Are they both from Hawaii?
Yeah, it's like that Family Guy where they're all like talking about Jessica Alba and The Rock, and they're like, "What is he? Maybe Samoan or some sort of Pacific Islander? Nobody knows. All mixed in." I watched this. I watched this video the other day that was crudely edited to make Obama say that he was born in Kenya, and it was like some speech from back in the day, like when he was running for president, and it was like Obama admits that he was not born in the United States, and it had fucking like 13 million views on it or some shit. And a lot of people bought into that. What do you think? What do you think about the ancient question, was Obama born in the United States because he will not provide a birth certificate? Or did he? And people are just saying that he didn't.
That's all media hype, bro. None of that shit's real.
Yeah, it's like, who cares, right?
He was born here.
Why have 13 million people watch this video? And
those are all angry Republicans that don't want him to be president. That's all that was. Yeah, that's all it ever is. 13 million people sounds like a lot, but it isn't. There's 350 million people in America. You know what I mean? 13 million really ain't shit.
Yeah, you're right. If we could get 13 million to listen to this podcast, then we'll be rich.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah.
So
let's do it. Tell your friends, everybody, come on.
Yeah, we need that. We'll make the show sound real good.
Yep. I wanted to bring up this gentleman. I was watching a documentary on him. His name is I'm not going to pronounce this right at all. His name is Karl Ove Knausgaard, and he's a Norwegian novelist, and he wrote, I want to say, like 7 books. And they're called My Struggle, and they're all about his life. And My Struggle is in German is Mein Kampf, which is Hitler's book that he wrote. And he purposely named it after Hitler's book for like I guess to like, you know, turn heads or whatever, and like, he adopted the name of the book from one of the most hated people in the world, called his book that. And all of his books are kind of about nothing. Like, he writes about writing a lot, and he also writes about like he'll have a piece about going to the fridge and looking for something to eat, and it'll be 15 pages long, and he'll talk about how the floorboards are creaking on his way there and like all this shit, and it's just like real drawn out. Like, a lot of people can't stand his writing. But he writes like really weird form, and he also let me see if I can get these facts right. In Norwegian. So where is that? Where is a Norwegian from? Normandy?
Norway.
All right, yeah, there it is. So what, man? I don't know things. And in Norway, which is a country of 5 million people, his book My Struggle has sold 1 million copies, which is pretty ridiculous. Like, that's like 1/5 of the population.
Just in his
area? Just in his area. And that's not to mention world sales, you know what I mean? So a lot of people buy his fucking book. And I watched this interview about him and this documentary, and it was towards the end, like his 6th or 7th book, he wrote all about Hitler, and he compared himself to Hitler, like him coming up, like Hitler's childhood, not Hitler's hatred towards, like Jewish people and stuff. But that, like, I think that killed his career, and he's just like some weird, struggling, starving artist that writes these crazy books that are about nothing. And he got a big piece in the New York Post. They wanted him to write, it was like 4 pages, and he turned in 40 pages, and all 40 pages they printed, and they were all about how he was scared to write the 40 pages because he didn't know what he was going to write about. And like, and it never came to an end. Like, at the end of the song, at the end of the the piece, he was just like, I still don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm running out of time. They said 4 pages. I'm on page 40. So I guess this is it. And everybody loved it. Like, everyone loved it when it came out. And it was just,
that's crazy.
It was a weird story. It reminds me of my favorite rapper, Idea. He has a song that's about writing a song. And it's all about how he's coming up with it, and then he writes it down on his hand, and like, it becomes the song that you're listening to now. And it's like a weird style of writing. I'm thinking about getting one of his books.
That's pretty dope.
I don't know if you're a book guy. You know what I mean? I know that we both read Harry Potter, but besides that.
Yeah. Well, I read along with Harry Potter.
read along.
Yeah, I'm illiterate. I don't know how to read.
Oh, yeah? And you just kind of sounded out the words as you went?
Yeah.
Some of them?
Yeah. Well, it had like a bouncing ball on the screen to every word.
I see. And it taught you as you went?
It was kind of like, yeah, it was kind of like karaoke.
Did you absorb any of that? Or
No. But I did see the movies afterwards, so that was cool.
That's good. That's cool.
Yeah.
We're definitely gonna nerd out and do a big ass episode on Harry Potter one day too, because that sounds fun.
Yeah.
And then
Harry Potter's always fun.
There was something else that I wanted to bring up about the goddamn police, but I forgot what it was.
They're coming after weed again.
Oh yeah, that's right. The sheriffs requested armored vehicles to fight marijuana growers and dealers.
Yeah, they listed that as one of their reasonings why they needed those MRAPs, those armored bomb-proof vehicles.
It's like, really? I've met a lot of people that smoke weed, grow weed, sell weed. Like, I live in California my whole life, so I'd say over 100 different people from different walks of life that I could think of that I've met in my life that are in the illegal world of growing and selling weed. And I also know a lot of people that sell cocaine and harder drugs in my life. And those people are way more dangerous, man. Like, people that sell, like, hard drugs and, you know, like, meth dealers and, like, crazy fucking, like, Mexican mafia type people, those are the people that you need armored vehicles for, because those are the guys that have assault rifles in their trunk and fucking, you know, pistols under their seat and shit. But, you know, my homie's mom that's growing weed at her house right now illegally, she has a gun that's registered to her in her house just like everybody else. You know what I mean? She's not going to pull it on you if you walk up on her. It's like, it's not on her all the time. It's like in her safe like a regular person. She cooks dinner. She watches fucking American Idol. You know what I mean? Like, they're normal people. You don't need a fucking armored car for those people.
Well, here's the thing. You don't need them at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, like, the police don't need to be militarized. I mean, what do you need it for? You just need more training. You need to not be lazy. You need to not be on steroids. You need to not be on drugs yourself. You need to actually be training for your job. You need to be doing so many things. You know what I mean? It's like there's no oversight there either, and that's why these things continue to happen. You can't have somebody enforce drugs that doesn't even have to test clean for drugs. You can't have somebody enforce laws against steroids and other things when they're obviously pumped full of steroids. All these cops that are killing people, you know, that they're juiced up. Everybody's on something. Everybody's doing something that's making them not think right.
Yeah.
You cannot be a police officer and be that afraid for your life every single day. Or why would you do the job? If you're really scared of things that much, why would you do that job? You know what I mean? If you're not mentally prepared to do a job the right way without hurting people or hurting yourself, you know what I mean? It's like, why do it? Why give the jobs to these type of people?
Exactly.
Why
people should
let them?
People should have more. People should have more training, better training. I was listening to that interview with that Michael Wood guy, who was the cop from Baltimore, like the ex-cop from Baltimore, and he was talking about how, like shooting, gun training, you have to hit inside of a silhouette, which is a standard target, you know, like a silhouette target with the circles and shit. You have to just get inside of the gray person area. You could even nick them in the ear. You have to get inside of it 7 out of 14 shots. So you have to have 50% accuracy. And like fighting training, they don't teach you. They teach you like basic combat stuff, but like real basic. And you know, what you'll get your yellow belt for in, you know, like any karate class. And they'll just teach you, like, you know, striking and like a couple like blocks, and that's it. And they don't teach you how to fight people. They don't teach you how to wrestle. They don't teach you any of that shit. So people are just going into it all gung-ho. A lot of people that are cops are on steroids, have some sort of superiority complex. They think that they're more important, that now that they have this badge and this gun, we have to listen to you. And the first chance that they get, they'll abuse their power. And they fucking... That kind of person, every time, is just looking for a chance to show authority and to be like an alpha. You know what I mean? And that's someone that's really dangerous to give authority and to give a badge to. And I 100% agree with you. The police do not need to be militarized. You know, that's it's bullshit. That's not what they're here for. They're not here to keep us all in check. They're not here to fucking, you know, scare everybody and hurt people. No, they're here to help us. They're here
to protect us.
Yeah,
exactly.
They work
that's
for
what they
us.
should be doing, you know? It's like, we need them. We definitely need them.
Yeah,
you know? The police aren't ever going away. You know, it's a staple in the communities for a reason. We need them to do their job. We definitely do, you know, and we're not discounting good cops. We're not trying to say that, you know, fuck police or whatever, even though we don't agree with their
fuck
shit.
Fuck the police.
Yeah.
No, but there are good cops, because you're right. We do. Every good functioning civilization needs some sort of authority in case shit goes crazy. But if shit's not going crazy, you don't need to make it out of nothing.
Yeah, no, it's not. We need situations handled smartly. We need people to use their brains instead of their muscles or their brawn, you know? We need people to treat people like people and understand that people are mentally ill. People have problems that they can't solve on their own. You know, people don't always do crazy shit because they're fucking crazy and are looking for a confrontation. Sometimes they just snap and are ill-equipped to handle with the way that they feel inside. You know what I mean? It's like there's a lot of situations that could be handled in such different lights if people knew how to handle them, but they don't, because we're, like you said, you know, there's a lack of oversight and a lack of training and a lack of even compassion when it comes to people's problems in that area. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like you guys did on the PTSD episode, you know, like those guys come back with all these weird feelings and emotions that they can't deal with, and sometimes they freak out, and if a police shows up, happens on the scene and doesn't realize why they're freaking out, they just think that they're on drugs or something's wrong with them, and they end up shooting them. You know what I mean? That's a huge problem. You know, there's other solutions to the problems that what we need to realize. And, you know, we get that there's fucked up people that put police in shitty situations. We get that there's criminals out there that put you in dangerous positions and make you afraid for your job. But you have to understand that now we're afraid of you, you know?
Yeah, and that's what
the cops are, the boogeyman now. You know what I mean? And it's like that isn't going to change now anytime soon. It's only getting worse. Yeah, you know,
and that's what makes it hard for young cops or, you know, new cops on the force that actually want to help people, want to protect their communities, get into it for the right reason, and they're put out on the street with a partner that's usually an asshole and is already fucking breaking the rules and shit. It's like training day. Yeah. You know what I mean? And
because when it's them, it's like they try to be it's us versus them, or it's them versus us type scenario, and they got to realize they are us too. You know, like that's it. Exactly. We're all the same.
And it doesn't help when everybody's out here. I mean, everybody hates cops now because of this, and fucking, you know, you see a random cop, and, you know, like, kids don't run up to cops and ask to hold their gun or ask to see their badge anymore, like we used to when we were kids. You know, you go up and you'd be like, "Hey, blah blah blah, did you ever shoot anybody?" And he'd be like, "Where?" and give you a sticker, and then you'd go on your way. Like, kids don't do that because their parents are like, "Don't fucking talk to that cop. Like, that cop will shoot you." You know what I mean? And fucking, so everyone's just conditioned to hate cops. And then if you're a cop that's, you know, on the force, want to do good, and then you get put into the situation where there's like a scary guy and he may or may not have a weapon. He doesn't like you because you're a cop. Nobody there likes you because you're a cop. Everybody just wants to see you die. And then, you know, you don't know what's going to happen. You're like, how did I get in this situation? There's 4 guys here and I don't think I could take them by myself. And it's just me. Backup's not coming yet. And, you know, that'd be a really fucking scary situation to be in. You know what I mean? So you have to have total control over your mind and your body and be able to stay calm and act a certain way. And I don't think that that's a qualifying factor for becoming a cop. You know, like,
no, definitely not. They look for a certain type of person, you know, and I wish it was different. You know, that's all. Here's the list. Okay, there's this thing that they have called Mother Jones, and it's like Freedom of Information Act thing.
All right.
And so when the sheriff's offices apply to get the armored vehicles, that is one of the flags that pops up for them, and that's how they find out this information. And so here's the ones that they got: Shasta County, Trinity County, Polk County, Oregon, Charlotte County, Florida, Sumter County, Florida, Cass County, Minnesota, and Clearwater County, Indiana. So those are all the places that are applying for the armored vehicles.
Dang.
Yeah.
And
I don't feel like any of them need them. You know, none of them are going to use them for weed grows. What are they going to use that shit for? You know, I don't understand why any of that shit is physically possible. Like, what do you need that shit for, really? You know, like, are you getting it just for a show of force?
Yeah, they're going to go and they're going to drive around in bad neighborhoods and try to fucking floss it and be like, we're the shit, we'll fuck you up.
Or do they all expect something that we don't know about, you know? That could be a possibility also, you know? It's like people do shit ahead of time for sure, especially when it comes to military and things like that. So maybe they're expecting some type of martial law scenario, or maybe they're, you know what I mean? Like, why else would you just never know, you know? I feel very I'm very untrusting.
Yeah. What I would like to do,
get those.
What I would like to do is take that list of places that applied for armored cars, and then take a list of places where they have empty FEMA camps and put those lists side by side and see if any of them match up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you never know.
Because a couple of them sounded like they would. Because there's empty FEMA camps all over the place, and that turned into a fun conspiracy theory that a lot of people shrugged off. But there's a FEMA camp, one in particular in Alaska, I believe, or it might be in Antarctica. And it's where nobody should be, and there's a giant fucking facility with big barbed wire fences around it that are pointed in to keep people in instead of keep people out, you know what I mean? And it's empty, and it's fully functional. You could fit I want to say it was like 400,000 people or something like that into it. And it's just this big giant building in the snow. And those are all over the place, just chilling, just waiting. FEMA camps, hanging out, waiting to be stuffed full of people. And a lot of people are going to go willingly. You know, if martial law is called, and if they come and start rounding people up and come knocking on doors and shit and being like, you know, something's happening, you need to come with us and we're going to keep you safe. You know, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, honey, get the kids. We got to go and get in this government car and go drive. It's like, have you never seen a movie ever? Because they're going to bring you to some fucking place where you're just going to be shoulder to shoulder in little cots with sick people. Everyone's going to be starving, eating government rations and dehydrated food. And they're going to be holding you prisoner is what they're going to be doing, and telling you that it's for the best, that it's for your protection, for your family, and that nobody's allowed to go outside because you risk contamination, and everybody just needs to sit in here. And then what that is you're living a prison sentence. And fuck that, because I would rather get contaminated and go run around and live my zombie apocalypse fantasy. Are you looking up lists of FEMA camps?
No, I'm looking at this thing that says police have killed more than 1,100 people in the last year.
Is that since last August or since January?
Since Mike Brown.
And when was that? What month?
I don't know, July or August or June or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was August.
But
no, it wasn't.
Yeah. So that's a lot of people, dude.
Yeah, it is. That is a very substantial amount of people. And yeah, it was August 9th, 2014. So since that, so 1 year. How many? 1,100 people?
Yeah, and so check this out.
That's sad, man.
The total number of citizens killed by law enforcement in the year 2014 in Canada was 14. 78 times less people than the United States.
Wow.
If we looked at the United Kingdom,
they leave their doors unlocked in Canada.
Yeah. Well, because everybody has guns. It's like here.
Yeah.
You know? Also, they say if you look at the United Kingdom, one person was killed by the police in 2014 and 0 people in 2013.
What the fuck? Well, that's also because nobody has guns. The police don't even have guns.
England, yeah, but they have 58 million people there or something.
Yeah,
or 52 million people.
And they have a really big drug problem there. They have gangs there. And, you know, there's a lot of shit that goes down there. And only one person...
Yeah. English police reportedly fired guns a total of 3 times in all of the year of 2013, with 0 reported fatalities. Yeah, 0. You know what I mean? That's pretty crazy.
I gotta bust out that applause track. Good job. Congratulations.
That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? It says from 2010 through 2014, there were 4 fatal police shootings in England, which has a population of about 52 million. By contrast, Albuquerque, New Mexico, with a population 1% the size of England's, had 26 fatal police shootings in that same time period. It says China, whose population is 4.5 times the size of the United States, recorded 12 killings by law enforcement in 2014. Let that sink in. Law enforcement in the United States killed 92 times more people than a country with nearly 1.4 billion people in it.
How many was it? 14?
Yeah.
Fucking 14. 12 versus 1,100. And was there an exact number? Was it 11 something, or is it just roughly 1,100?
No, it's over 1,100.
Man, that is sad.
Hey, from 2013 to 2014 in Germany, the police killed no one.
Not a single person.
No one. In the entire history of Iceland, police have only killed 1 person ever.
Damn. See?
After all non-lethal methods to detain an armed man barricaded in his house who actually shot 2 police officers, police were forced to take the 59-year-old man's life. The country of Iceland grieved for weeks after having to resort to violence.
Damn. They were very upset about that. Having to resort to violence. Okay, that I'm gonna go ahead and say that that's a little too far. Like, that guy killed 2 cops, was held up in his house.
Didn't say killed, just shot.
Oh, he shot him. But still, it's like grieving because you resorted to violence. But I guess I got to appreciate it. That's really dope. It's like that is a loving, caring community right there in Iceland.
For Canada, and Canada's got a lot of the same problems we do.
Yeah.
Okay? A lot of the same problems we do. Protesting, drugs, violence, and shit like that.
A lot of drug trafficking.
China has a lot of shit, you know. Germany probably has a lot of shit too.
China's got the triad. You don't fuck with that.
For those places to have such record low numbers, and for us to be so high, that's unforgivable, unexcusable.
Yeah, we don't have triad. We don't have Yakuza. We don't have Vikings here. There's no reason.
No.
There's no reason.
We have citizens being afraid of the police.
Yeah,
everyone
and
fears for their life.
That's because the police are a military force now, and they're a bunch of fucking assholes. And you could take you could take everybody in all these other countries that you listed, and add them all together, and the National Guard, which isn't even the police, it's not even the military, it's somewhere in between. And the National Guard, which is supposed to guard people in America against outside forces, killed more people at Kent State than all of these people combined, all of these countries. And I don't know if you ever saw like the video and like the pictures of Kent State or heard what happened there. Are you familiar with the story?
No, not really.
So it was a protest at a university, Kent State, And what happened was, I'm gonna butcher the story a little bit, but what happened was it was a nonviolent protest that was going on for a few days. They brought in the National Guard to deal with it because the cops couldn't deal with it. It was like too much or whatever. Brought in the National Guard, and the National Guard opened fire on one of the kids that was like, I want to say he was throwing shit at him, but it wasn't like Molotov cocktails or rocks. Like it was like, you know, paper or like some fucking like binder or some shit. And he threw something at him, and National Guard opened fire on this kid, and then all the kids started running, and they were just like shooting kids on like the hillsides, college students that were running away. And it was a giant fucking massacre that happened on, let's see, I'm going to look it up right here. The Kent State shootings, it happened on May 4th in 1970. And it was a really sad story. When I first heard about it, it was all the college students were unarmed. It was the Ohio National Guard. The guardsmen fired 67 rounds over a period of 13 seconds and killed 4 students and wounded 9 others, one of whom suffered permanent paralysis. And they were protesting a Cambodian campaign that Richard Nixon announced during a television address on April 30th. And some of the students were just walking by and observing the protest from a distance and not even a part of it. And it was, what it is it's what we're doing now. We're taking, you know, people that, because the National Guard, they're not trained like the military. They do, you know, they do like a couple days and maybe a week in boot camp, and then that's it. And it's mostly, you know, we're going to call you names and make you clean shit and make you run forever. That doesn't teach you shit. You know what I mean? And we're taking people that are, you know, they don't know what to do. They aren't properly trained, and we're giving them guns and we're giving them power, and it always is going to end bad. It's going to end like this. You know what I mean? And that's why so many people are dying, why our death toll is 1,100 and not 4. And, you know, I think something needs to be done. But then again, I also think that it's too late, because everyone's already conditioned to hate the cops. Straight Outta Compton is coming out at the perfect time, because it's all fuck the police. And it's, I think that is going to hammer it in. That's going to be the final nail in the coffin of police authority that is taken seriously and, you know, actually wanted by the community instead of stigmatized. You know what I mean?
Well, here's where my conspiracy theory thinking comes back into play. You know, I feel like maybe all this shit is planned, you know? Maybe all this shit is escalating for a reason, on both sides. Maybe on the government side and maybe on the people's side, you know? Maybe, you know, things always have to get worse before they get better, you know? And I really feel like we're reliving the 60s all over again, you know? It's like everybody's protesting, everybody's standing up for what they believe in, you know? Everybody is taking it apart and playing a role in what's going on, and something was bound to happen, you know? And I feel like the protests are a good thing as long as they stay nonviolent and don't end up looting and stuff, you know? I feel like we need to keep protesting, and we need to keep speaking up for the things that we feel are unjust, and we need them to come down off of their pedestals and try to agree with what is really good for everybody. There is no middle class in America anymore, you know? It's the rich and the poor. That's all there is. And that the rich is really rich and the poor is fucking broke, you know? And they're going to stay protected in their little bubble no matter what happens, because they're able to be comfortable because of the wealth that they have achieved or whatnot, you know. So it's like they just really need to feel like they know that they're taken care of. Why not help us out and help us protect ourselves in better ways with better laws and better things, like, you know, gun control and things like that aren't going to change it. Obviously, it never has, it never will. It's not about it, you know. Yeah, you need to put more restrictions on people with mental illnesses that get guns to keep people from publicly shooting people and things like that, you know, like the theater shootings and the school shootings and all those type of things. But at the same time, it's like, if more people owned guns, I feel like there'd be even less violence. If everybody was allowed to open carry and walk down the street, the cops sure ain't going to be shooting at everybody. Yeah. You know, it's like, it's going to become a normal thing. It's like, you know, yeah, they're not going to pull their gun on you if they know that you can defend yourself. And that's just how it's going to be. It's like, if anything, some things need to change and go back to the way maybe they were once before with, you know, I feel like if people are eligible to own and carry guns and there's nothing keeping them from doing that legally, why not let them do it? You know, why not let people protect themselves if they don't feel like they're being protected the right way? You know?
And they're trying to take away the guns so they can take away the power, and it's we've gotten to this point to where. Man, I started to cut you off and forget my point. I totally had a point.
Yeah, it's all good. You know, it's just all the shit was going to happen. And now it's good that it's happening, and I can't wait to see what comes of it. You know, like I'm looking forward to the future. We're always optimistic, and we kind of have to, like, you know, hope for a positive outcome.
I remember as long as we keep these protests nonviolent, like you were saying, then we're on the right track. And, you know, Anonymous is doing crazy shit and hacking into fucking mainframes and exposing people and all this shit, which is dope. Props to them, you know. I'll shout it out to Anonymous. I want to be part of the million masts. And
yeah, it is a good thing that they do too, for the most part. Not everything they do is good, but
no.
But a lot of it.
And then, but there's also the way that Anonymous is set up. You know, there's, like, say if you just look at their YouTube, like, there's Anonymous and then there's Anonymous Official, but both of them are representing the same thing, and everyone is anonymous. So, you know, they kind of are the same. So certain groups are doing this, certain groups are doing that, and then all these other groups are getting big, so you can't really tell whose video you're watching anymore. But that's kind of a cool thing about it, is that you can kind of make your own, like, we can make our own Anonymous, put on masks, make a video, expose some shit, and then everyone will share it, and fucking, you know, we could become part of the crew. But I was going to talk about provocateurs is an interesting thing that I learned about. When there's a protest that's nonviolent and police have no reason to go in and shut it down, you know what I mean? Because you have a right to protest in America. What they do is they send in provocateurs, which are people that are disguised as protesters. They go in, have a sign, they yell for a while and fucking, you know, for about an hour. And then they start fucking shit up and they start breaking windows. All it really takes is for one guy to pick up a brick and throw it through a window when you have people angry enough, and that will spark like a mob rules, you know, people follow along. If you do that, 10 other people are going to start breaking shit. People will see that, a couple other people will start, and then that gives the police a reason to go in and stop it. So a nonviolent protest that could last for weeks and weeks is going to be shut down after a day, you know, by someone that the government, that these officials have paid, or is on their payroll, or is just a cop that's dressed up like a guy that just goes in and starts fucking shit up. And then it's never on the record, and they just say that the crowd got violent, you know, because technically the crowd does get violent after that happens most of the time.
Right.
And if we could just, if everyone could be aware of that, that's an actual practice. It's in like military journals and shit, that's an actual thing that they use to break up protests in, you know, other parts of the world and shit. And if everyone can realize that that's a tactic, and when that first guy throws that brick, to not react to it, you know what I mean? If the whole crowd is one, it knows it's going to come, is aware it's going to happen, doesn't react to it, then that's just one asshole, and the cops are just allowed to come in and get him. You know what I mean? And then you just be like, hey, this guy's being an asshole. Come and arrest this guy.
Well, that's one of the good and bad things about open protests like that. You know, is that a lot of people will show up that don't necessarily know everything they should be looking for in the first place. They're just showing up to show their support, which they should, and more should all the time, you know. But at the same time, check in with the people who are running the protests and what you should be looking out for, what you should be watching for, what kind of tricks and tactics they pull in what cities where they protest at. And you know what I mean? The organizers and things, they know what they're doing.
Yeah,
they know what to expect.
They know way more than we do.
You know? So it's like, if you really want to get involved, instead of showing up randomly, you know, do it organized. Go check in somewhere and find out how to do it right. Or like, you know, the internet is a powerful thing. We use Google for everything. Yeah. You know, Google's our best friend. And
if you want to be a protester and you're not going to do it right, then don't do it, because you should really just go take an improv class, because that's what you're doing. Yeah. It's just pretending to be something. So if you really don't want to, because I mean, that is I would recommend that everybody do it, you know what I mean? But then again, it kind of, it takes away the power of it if people are ignorant to the facts. People aren't there for the right reason. People are kind of just standing around, because then those are the people that are going to fuck it up for everyone else that's really trying to make a change, you know what I mean? So if there's a group of people that are really dedicated to something and really, you know, into it and are protesting about it, and you kind of agree with them but don't know what's going on, either get informed or just let them do their thing. Like, you know, a lot of people are there was a guy that I knew that I'm not going to name that would always be involved in protests for everything. I remember one time he stood out in front of Vaughn's when the Vaughn's workers were protesting for better pay and salary. He didn't work at Vaughn's. Nobody that he knew worked at Vaughn's. He just liked to be part of the protests, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's a weird thing. People like to be part of that group. And if you want to be part of a group, join an improv league, go to a Church of Satan, and or you could just join the Religion of Cannabis, which will be up soon. We're gonna have a website that'll be fully functional. It'll have just a big plant, and then you just click on all the nugs, and there'll be different scriptures from our teachings. So look forward to that.
Church of Cannabis.
Church of Cannabis. All right, man, we're done. That was a good one. I think that we really gave it to the police on this one.
Well, it's not really that's not the intention, you know. No. The intention is just to have people be aware of what's going on, you know, and like don't be mad at them personally. Be mad at the circumstance and the situation. Yep. You know, reach out and write letters to your government officials. You know, that's always worked. You know, like they have to represent their constituents, and for them to be able to do that fully, they have to pay attention to what the people want. If enough people want reform and other things, then that's what's going to happen. You know what I mean? It's all up to everybody has to play a part. If you don't vote, you don't deserve an opinion.
Exactly.
If you don't, you know what I mean? If you don't go out and do things through the proper channels and make sure that
unless you're not allowed to vote,
then you don't care.
Unless you're a felon and you can't vote for 7 years or something, then you
even if you can't, go do it anyways and make them do their job and have to find out that your vote's not valid. You know what I mean? Right. Everybody needs to voice their opinion, or they shouldn't have one.
I totally agree.
Mean? It's like you can't wait till after the fact and then expect things to have changed when you didn't be a part of it. You know, I feel like people are not taking their civic duties or responsibilities onto themselves. You know, the only people in charge of keeping the government in check is the people. If the people don't do their job, then they're just going to be told what to do forever. You know?
It's a democracy. It's not a communist country. And, you know, everybody has a part to play. And if you're not involved, and if you don't like it, become involved. If you're not involved, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's pretty much it. And, you know, everybody else, that and if you don't care, then that's fine too, because a lot of people don't care about politics, don't care about all of the measures and voting and all this. That's fine. But then again, you shouldn't also be posting everything every day about all of this conspiracy shit and how the government is treating us all like this and blah blah blah, and everyone needs to see through the veil. Well then, right. Maybe do something about it, because you are part of the government too. We all are. We're all part of the government. Yeah. We the people is, that's the first line of a lot of great poems and songs. We the people. And, I would like to thank you the people for listening. And I would like to thank that's it. That's all I want to thank. You want to thank anybody?
Yeah, take a page out of the Natural Habitat podcast book and spread some positivity, you fucks.
That's right. Go find somebody that you haven't talked to for a while, an old friend. Hit him up and be like, "What's up, man? How you been?" That's it. And then just kind of touch bases with someone. Let them know that that you appreciate them. I don't know what the hell that was. Is that our timer? We're done?
I guess.
We're out of time. All right. Well, tell somebody you love them and you appreciate them. And if you see a cop, don't be an asshole unless he's an asshole. Then I also wouldn't be an asshole. That's dangerous. Just be nice.
Yeah.
Just be nice to everybody and cops in front of their faces.
Smoke weed every day.
That's right. Is that your new out? You're not going to say peace, bitches anymore? Peace, bitches.
The Natural Habitat Podcast.